make some noise for Elizabeth Henstridge and Cobie Smulders. Hello. Hi. Everyone hates me right now. I'm okay with that. I'm okay. Yes, please join us. Why, hello.
This is a nice setup, isn't it?
Right?
It's like we're just in our front room.
You know, it's just perfect.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Every
time I use a microphone, I start talking like this. I don't understand.
I like it.
But we all like it. It's
Hi.
quite all right. Hi, ladies. How are y'all doing?
Good. How is everybody doing?
Yes.
I love these costumes.
Yes,
Everyone looks so great.
Right?
Yeah.
Have you seen
was
anyone?
bringing it as well.
Have you seen anyone cosplay as yourselves yet?
It's like we're on a radio show.
Yeah.
Really soothing jazz
Specific
radio
one,
show.
yeah.
I'm just
Sorry.
gonna watch it, guys.
I had a lot of coffee today.
That's all right. That is all right. That's
How
what
are
we
you?
want. I'm good. I get to sit up here with you lovely ladies, so I'm better than some people right now. I'm saying. Just keeping it honest. So there are some people that are very eager to ask questions of you.
Sure.
Remember, guys, let's try not to get too spoilerific for what's coming, because they can't answer those.
We will be shot.
That is what the
Probably
family
not.
for Disney.
We murdered in this room in front of everyone and
Right.
reveal certain secrets.
Yeah, right.
And I don't want to get shot either. I have things to do tomorrow, so we're not going to do that. But first of all, welcome.
Thank you.
And if you guys are ready, we'll start with the questions.
Oh, I love just jumping into questions.
That's how we
Then we
do it.
have to like talk and
I mean,
say
listen,
boring things.
we will
but
get to
that's-
know each other. We got dates planned. Don't worry about that.
I love
It's
it.
all good, yeah.
Where do we start? Right here with this
Right here?
fancy lady? Hi.
Yes. Hello.
Hi.
What's your name?
Jen.
Jen. Hi, Jen.
Hi. I was just wondering if you guys could play any literary character that, in the world, who would you play and why?
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right.
Like,
Way to start that
all
off.
the books.
Heavy. Good
A
job.
lot of books.
Any Jane Austen.
Yes, like
Okay.
Elizabeth Bennet.
Yes.
Someone. Or Darcy. I'd like to be Mr. Darcy.
Yeah, that's
Mr. Darcy wasn't very nice at first.
No, but but he was underneath.
Okay, that's true. But
complicated. He's
Yeah.
He's a complicated man.
Aren't we
Or
all?
woman, you know?
Yes.
Mrs. Darcy.
Ms. Darcy, I
Hello.
think would be.
Hello.
Hello.
There you go. I like it. Okay, who did you say?
I mean, I'm reading this book right now. I'm reading East of Eden. I don't know if anyone's read it. It's kind of a classic. But there's a character in there that is this evil woman. She's so evil.
Yeah, but they're so fun.
I know, but they're kind of fun. Like these
Yeah.
evil, complicated characters are the most interesting to play. So somebody like that.
Okay.
Who's very manipulative. Yeah.
Boy, we're learning a lot.
I know.
I feel like we're really diving in
We're
there.
really getting deep today. Let's get deep today, guys.
This is what happens when you're an Aries. You want to play the bad guys.
Yes,
I
it's true.
totally understand this.
Yeah, it's true.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Hello.
Nice to see you. Hi.
Hi,
Hi.
this is for Elizabeth. What's your favorite thing about portraying a scientist like Simmons?
I think it's that I get to look like I'm clever. You know? Because you only see the takes where I get it right and I know all the chemically words. So yeah, I think that. And my mom is very happy that in her brain she thinks that maybe I am a doctor, so that's just so much better than an actress. So probably that.
But that's because you come from a family of doctors, yes?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Research, memory. That's awesome. Thank you. Hello.
Hi.
Wow, you look amazing.
Yes.
Thank
Do you have like actual like special effects makeup on?
Yeah, maybe.
Prosthetics.
I guess too.
She's like, no, I woke up like
You
this.
see what I mean about the cleverness?
It's a birth defect.
It's working.
But my question's for Cobie. I was just wondering if your kids have seen you like on TV or in a movie, and if they know of you as like Agent Hill or as Robin or anything like that, and what they do about it.
I'm not cool yet to them. My eldest is getting to the age, she's 8 now, where there's like a lot of like older boys who are like, hey, your mom is in the Avengers, and it is a new sort of territory that I'm navigating. But my kids haven't seen How I Met Your Mother or anything yet, but I am excited to be doing Maria Hill. I also just got to play this character, Susan Turner, in this movie Jack Reacher, where I was
Nice.
thank you. He's so amazing. He saw the movie. So it's really cool to play these women, these badass women, and be raising 2 girls so that when they are old enough to watch it, they'll hopefully be like excited and hopefully, you know, inspired in some way. But one day we'll like sit down and have a movie night.
Their minds are going to be blown that day.
I think I'm always still gonna, I think like you're just always gonna be like boring mom. Like there's nothing.
Yeah, but most boring people's moms don't. No, most people's boring moms. You see what I'm saying again? They're not in huge action movies playing like incredible people, you know?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what's that sound effect one more time?
Isn't this like super secret agent women category so awesome? I'm like a boring old mom, and we just this is our move.
Boring mom who's secret agent on the
Yes,
side.
we've figured out that you're not. This is the point.
Well, thank you.
You're not.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Madam Hydra, and I was wondering what's it like being lame and shield instead of cool and Hydra?
Whoa, shots fired. Shots
Wow.
fired. Shots fired.
You should drop that mic if you could legally do that. I mean, I just can't answer that question. It is cool to be bad. It's cool to play bad, but it never usually ends up that great for you. I think I shot you a lot of times.
You killed me though.
It's true, I didn't.
That's because she's nice.
Yeah, I meant to not.
Yes. I want to put that on a t-shirt. I meant to not. So now, take that. Now, okay, in terms of your position in S.H.I.E.L.D., you guys have very similar positions.
I mean, I think she might outrank me.
Still?
You.
Still?
Yes.
I mean, you're right under the director.
Yeah, but... Oh.
Yeah. I'm just asking.
I like answers because I don't know. Like if anyone can tell me, I don't know.
I know Maria Hill is kind of, you're kind of hiding.
It's like in hiding.
Yeah,
It's
so-
like the secret missions.
I'm
like,
going to
you can't talk about it.
Right.
It's a secret mission somewhere far away. Only very select people know about it.
There you go.
Show.
Okay. All right, I've just caused it. Oh, sorry. Hello.
Hi. So I wanted to know, if you weren't actors, what would you want to do instead for your profession?
Great question. Thank you for that question.
Yes.
I would be a marine biologist. I would, sure, thank you. Thank you. Science. Is cool. Yeah, I was going to study marine biology in college, and I was all enrolled, and then that summer before I met like really cool actors who were like, I had done theater before, and I didn't think that you could be paid to pretend, to be somebody else. And when I met this group of actors who were like going on auditions and like, you know, doing guest star roles on any show that was shooting in Vancouver, I was like, oh, I can make a living out of this. And so I was like, I'll try it out for a year. And if it doesn't work out, I'll go back to school. And I'm constantly thinking I'm gonna drop everything and go back to school. So we'll see.
It's never too late.
In that year, did you book How I Met Your Mother?
No, but I did this other show which we shot in Toronto called Veritas the Quest. Which
Yes.
was like this really,
Wow, that sounds
it was not amazing. It was very terrible. But it was like my first foray. I got this gig and I think we shot 13 episodes, and it was about archaeology. And I was like playing this like 29-year-old archaeologist, and I was like 18. I know stuff. I know how to say, like you, I'm like, I know how to say all these words. I know lots of stuff. I'm very educated. I never went to college.
Need it.
Yeah, so I would have, sorry, that was a very long answer. I'd still, I'm a big scuba diver, and I work with this amazing organization called Oceana. Look it up. They're a great organization. And so that's how I sort of keep that part of my dream alive. And you, what would you
so
be doing?
Cool. I'm just I love that you go scuba diving.
Oh yeah, have you ever done scuba diving?
I have done it once, yes, and I'm asthmatic, and it's brought on by swimming. And so the whole time I was like, just don't die. Oh yeah, this is so beautiful. And it was in Thailand, so it was very beautiful.
Right.
But I didn't enjoy it until I was back on dry land and breathing normally.
So
But
you like the
It
memory
is
of
a little bit.
yeah, it was good, amazing though. But you have to be quite brave, I feel like. Anyway, I mean, this is why I often think, like Elizabeth, is there anything else you could do? Because acting is amazing when you have the job, but when you gotta find that job and you're auditioning, that it can be tough. So I often think to myself, what could I do? And I've had many hobbies, like I tried to sew and think, oh, maybe I'll just make clothes. It didn't go great. All my clothes are now in pieces on the floor because I'm trying to recreate them. So I don't know. I mean, I loved psychology and I'm fascinated by people, so I feel like that's probably why I'm acting. But I don't know. I'm going to let you know when I find that because I'm desperate to know what the alternative is, just in case things don't go great.
We don't want you to find that answer. We want
you're
you to
good.
keep going
Cross.
with what you're doing now. So yes. Thank you. Hello.
Hello. Okay, so I'm a huge S.H.I.E.L.D. fan, but I thought I'd mix it up and ask you about another role that you did. So you were in that movie Wolves at the Door about the Charles Manson murders. What research did you do to get ready for that?
Oh my God, I was so scared about that. I mean, I did just enough because it's just, it's so dark. I was having so many nightmares and I barely got through it. So I did enough to know and to be able to be respectful, but that's a subject, so kind of enough, I guess. Even now I'm like, oh my God.
Who did you play?
Abigail. Abigail Kroger, that was, the coffee heiress,
Yeah.
One of the people that got. The whole thing, just terrifying. Yes, no acting was really required, and I was convinced that I was going to get killed for real. I was actually convinced. So just getting through that movie, I was like, oh my God, thank God.
I need you not to do that to yourself anymore.
I know, me too. I'm still
Moving on.
Yeah. Talk about happy things. Next question. Nice to meet you, though. Still a good question. That's what you should do as a different career.
Toxing?
Yes,
I don't think
toxing.
it's a career in talk
It's
singing.
totally make it.
I don't think you can
Right,
make a
right,
career
right.
out of talk singing.
A jingle
Right.
maker.
That's as long as I don't think I can go anymore. Anyway,
What's a
hello,
jingle?
sir.
Hello.
My question is called Cobie.
Yes.
What's your favorite Rock and Sparkle song?
Well, it's everybody's favorite song, isn't it? Let's go to the mall.
Let's go to the mall.
Ta-da.
I was totally asking, could we do that?
Should we do it? I did see some
There
outfits.
is-
We were just talking about it on the mall.
Totally do that after
Let's
this.
do it.
Get that now. Is that why you said that?
That's totally wise.
Oh, I missed that joke completely. I was like, yeah, let's go to the mall. I'll come with you.
Actually, I want to
Did you really? I saw it from my window.
Yes.
I think we can walk
I
there.
started a whole conversation. Wow, it's embarrassing. I was like, there's outlet malls here, And they're like, okay.
Mall's best.
So,
It's let's go to the mall.
yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Costume. Hello. See, that guy was my vibe because it was really spiritually important for me to ask Cobie, have you met Ted? It was just really on my mind and heart. We took care of it. It's good. My question is about theater, film, television. You both have had careers in all three. So the process is prepping for all those variety of roles. What would you do if you could only do one medium for the rest of your life?
That's a good question. Oh, that's such a good question. And that's such a hard question because they're all so unique and different. I just did a run on Broadway.
Oh my God, did you?
Just on Broadway. So I'm a serious actress, you guys. If any of you were doubting how serious of an actress I am,
There you
I
go.
just did a run on Broadway.
Mike.
Anyway. No, and that was always like a crazy dream of mine. It was like a pinch me moment. I couldn't believe it. But I think it goes in different stages of your life. For me, if from here on out, if I was just doing theater, I'd be like the happiest person, because it is a unique experience. I just don't think it exists anymore. I mean, live TV, even though it's live, it is still so planned and organized, and they do many takes of what you're seeing live, and it is really the only experience where you're in front of an audience, and if you F up, then it's like, you just have to roll with it, and you have to be, on your toes, and that was an amazing experience for me. So I think it would be that, but every, TV, film, theater, they all have like such amazing qualities to them, which I love. But for me, it would probably be theater. Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you want to say anything about that?
No, I was just like very enthralled. What play did you do?
I did Present Laughter.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
No Coward.
Yeah.
No Coward?
Again, serious acting.
Serious.
I literally can't do it without laughing at
That's so
myself.
cool. Yeah, but that's the real deal. And to be able to have to go on night after night after night, like it's one thing
Right,
to
yeah.
do a scene and then you
Yeah,
have
it
to
takes
think
like
about
an
it again.
endurance. And
Yeah, for sure.
It was good fun.
Oh, that's amazing.
Beautiful. Hello.
Hi. Okay, I know you said no spoilers, but technically for Cobie, I'm just curious to hear or just if you can give us any stories about the movie you recently did with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, I would love to talk about that. Thank you for bringing that up, because this is a you guys all have to see this movie, because my husband did the whole thing. He wrote it and he directed it and he starred in it. Let's applaud my husband. I married him. I made babies with him. We have sex. Not a big deal. We're married. It's fine.
Whoa. That's a
We can talk about that later. And see me in the photo booth line. It's so fun. It is such a unique movie. It's basically like a action comedy mockumentary, and Arnold Schwarzenegger is in it, like you said, and an array of amazing comedic actors. And it comes out this September on VOD, and then they're going to do a theatrical release in October. But it's so funny, and it's Arnold is doing some really, I mean, for me, like I wasn't so much into the Terminator. I was like a kindergarten cop, twin Arnold Schwarzenegger fan. Like that's what I hooked on to. So to see Arnold doing like not only great action, but to also see him doing some more comedy is really refreshing, and I really loved it. And it was amazing. He was great. Arnold was great, and the whole experience was wonderful. So check it out. It's a really great film. I think you guys will all like it. Thank you. It's called Why We're Killing Gunther. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Amazing.
I forgot the tagline.
That's all right. Hello.
Alright, I would just like to start off by saying that How I Met Your Mother is my favorite show of all time.
Oh, thank you.
And I was wondering, what's your favorite memory on set?
From How I Met Your Mother? Oh, God.
Pick only one.
We did 9 seasons. Okay, I'll try to talk until I can find one in my brain. But I will start by saying, I mean, we had the most amazing crew and the most amazing writers, and to be able to do a show and work with people you love for 9 years was like insane. So that is like, I say that now because that is my takeaway from the show, are the relationships that I had and still have. But I think, you know, not to beat a dead horse, but the whole Robin Sparkles thing was like so great, because I think that when you sign on to a sitcom, and especially, you know, back then, and especially like as a woman, you're like, okay, I'm gonna be like the girlfriend, and then I'll be like the wife character, and you kind of get boxed in. And the creators of our show, Carter and Craig, never made any of us feel that way. And I remember when they came to me, first they came to me and they're like, we're thinking of making Robin Canadian. And I was like, oh, okay. And they're like, we think it's exotic. And I was like, oh. I have never been thought as exotic because of my Canadianness. So I was very pleased by that. And then they came up with this like weird storyline about that she was this like pop star in Canada, in the 90s, which was actually the 80s in Canada, because everything came like 10 years later to Canada, which is unfortunately kind of true. It was so weird, and I was like, for me, on a personal level, I was just like so honored to be given that opportunity, because I went into the show thinking it was going to be this one thing, and over the course of 9 years, like the Robin Sparkle stuff, they kept throwing different things at us to keep it interesting for the audience. So, so really that, shooting that first video, the costumes, the background dancers, my band were all of our crew members.
That's awesome.
Literally, like Matt is a writer, Dave was props, Jamie was a writer, like everyone in my band was a crew member. So for every video we shot, some of them were still there, some of them had moved on to other projects and called them back in. And for Robin Daggers, I think we called a lot of people back in. So I don't know.
You guys should go on tour.
We are. Thank you. I'm gonna make an announcement today.
Yes.
A mall tour. We're starting over the Outlet Mall here in Chicago. Stop 1 tomorrow night. Wouldn't that be amazing?
It would actually.
Let's drop this.
I think everybody would be like, we're going. Like, that's just it.
God, I don't know. That would be a disappointment. Guys. So yes, I'm sorry. I knew I was I don't know how to answer in a short way. I don't know how to like just answer in a couple words. I just ramble. But I hope did that answer your question? Are you satisfied? Thank you.
Elizabeth, what's your favorite moment from How I Met Your Mother? Yeah, that's right. That's why I'm putting her on the spot.
All of it. There's 9 years of it, you guys. I can't remember.
That's my girl. Good job.
What was it like at the end? When it was the last day, were you just, like, how?
Yeah, it was, the great thing was that we knew it was gonna end. You know, like,
start of that season,
yes,
we
knew like we're gonna do one last season. And I think, you know, in film and TV, you never know. Usually you find out mid-season that you're gonna get a pickup. And so you never quite know, like, how long you're gonna be doing this, or if you're still employed next year. So it was really nice to have a whole year of goodbyes. Right. So I was able to sort of, you know, phase the goodbyes. But I mean, the last day, I don't really remember the last day. I remember just getting emotional during different part, like, this is our last table read, and this is the last time I'm gonna go to craft service, and this is the last, but I like food. And so it was more like, it was a whole year, which was really nice.
Yeah, but also maybe more traumatic. I mean, I'd be a mess every day.
It was, yeah, the funny thing was, I just had this weird memory pop into my brain where, like, a week after we wrapped, I went to, like, a meeting or something on the Sony lot in California, and I'm walking down the street, I'm like, I'm gonna get a new job. And I walk and I turn the corner, and it's our entire crew shooting a pilot. Like our entire crew was like doing an exterior shoot, and I was like, what's happening? You guys are just moving on without us?
Such a
you
hard
guys are all just still working together, and I have to go find another job. Okay, fine. Fine. But no, I mean, I'm still in touch with everybody, and so it doesn't feel like a goodbye, but it was, you know, there were sad moments for sure. But 9 years, we did 9 years, 200 however many shows. We got a good run, so I'm very grateful.
Yeah.
I'll stop talking.
Hello, Agent Carter. How are you?
I'm good.
You look amazing.
Thank you. I wanted to ask Elizabeth, obviously the framework storyline, it was a very dark place for all of the characters. What was it like preparing you and your character for that timeline, and what was it like working with Ian to prepare your relationship as Fitz and Simmons for that storyline?
It was awful. Because, well, I didn't really see, usually I spent all my day with Ian, but then because we were in such separate storylines, I didn't see him. We were working on different days and kind of different sets, and so I just never saw him, and I didn't see him in his sexy outfits until I was filming with him, and he was in the distance walking, and it was good because it was so different, and I didn't get to hang out with Ian until he was kind of evil. In the scene, so that was helpful, but I didn't like it I mean, he looked good. He did look good, but I didn't like it. But it was fun. It was fun just to mix it up, and it was nice to have people like Brett back in it, and you know, some fun cameos. Yeah, so it was good. And I got to wear Daisy clothes because Chloe in the Daisy in the show, I guess Sky in the framework, she lent me her clothes. So Simmons like got some sassy clothes to wear for a bit. So that was nice.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello. The on-screen chemistry so reflects what you see behind.
This on screen? This screen?
No. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Welcome to our jazz radio show.
I'm about to come join y'all. Like, this is serious.
The way all of you interact.
That got so dirty so fast.
How did that happen? It wasn't our fault. It was just natural. Sorry.
The way you guys interact with each other and the friendships that are formed since season 1, even the behind-the-scenes stuff where your dogs and everybody's dogs are with Wendy in her makeup trailer. How exactly did that transpire? Because it's not really something you see in other shows, all the connections and everything.
Well, it started when you were on the pilot. She set the tone. But I mean, it kind of did. I think it started, I think you know, it starts at the top. We have the most amazing executive producers and they're so friendly, and we would go around drinking at their house every Friday night. So I think that helps to break the ice. And then Clark being on #1 is just, he's so wonderful, and I mean, you've worked with him a bunch before. He's just so genuine, and you know, he gets it. He wants to make really good drama, but he also gets that, you know, we're friends outside, and you know, that relationship is just as important off screen as on screen. So he really sets the tone, and yeah, when the lead of your show has no ego, then no one else can be a diva. So I think which I was so annoyed about. I was thinking, I'm coming to Hollywood, like, come on. But no, there's no opportunity for that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I have to be that bad guy. There are only 5 minutes left, so let's try to get through as many questions as we can.
No pressure, bro.
Not at all.
Hi.
Nope. No, I'm teasing. Go ahead.
This is for Elizabeth. What season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was your favorite to be a part of so far?
#4. I just think it gets better each season, but I liked how we kind of had the different sections and you know, the framework and all that stuff. So yeah, it was #4.
Beautiful. Hello.
Hi, my question's for Elizabeth. If you could choose one character to return through the framework with you, who would it be? I would personally pick Trip to come back, but I want to know who would you bring back?
Oh God. Well, I love Simon Cassianides, who plays Bakshi. So I think him, just because we have our own special friendship that's like built on really random British things. So I think just for me personally, I would like him. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi, my name is Nora. This is a question for Elizabeth. I was wondering if you were good at science before you became Simmons.
Yes. I mean, kind of. I did love it, and I took it for my higher exams along with drama, but drama went out, much to the despair of my parents. But yes, I think science is very cool. So, do you like science?
Yeah, I like science.
Awesome. Well, that's your superpower right there.
There you go.
Listen your brain.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi, my question's for Cobie. I'm a huge How I Met Your Mother fan, and I think I might be in the minority that I was a big Ted and Robin shipper from like the beginning, and I was wondering if there was a certain point that you knew that Ted and Robin were going to get together.
Oh God. At the beginning of season 9, it was like a slow unveiling. I remember when we were doing the table read for when the mother, when she was like, wait, is she sick? Wait, is this happening? And I think that, you know, Robin and Ted have always had this amazing friendship, this love. and I didn't know where that was going to go. I mean, this is a very close group of friends, so it was sort of hard to know, but I don't think I really knew until about halfway through. And I didn't want to know what was coming, because there was just so much emotion flying around, and so I probably found out halfway through, when toward the middle I found out, yeah.
Very cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi. Okay, so that was actually my question.
Wow.
So, I noticed you started singing Satisfied.
Yes.
So, what's your favorite Hamilton song?
Oh God, I'm obsessed with Hamilton. I mean, who isn't obsessed with Hamilton? It's so great. My husband got to play the king not that long ago, in the beginning of this year, so I became even more obsessed. I don't know my favorite song. I mean, Satisfied is an amazing one. Have you seen Hamilton? It's in LA right now. You should go and see it.
I know. I just don't know if I want to pay like $10,000.
Yeah, I
know. You could just do it for me right now. Whenever they're satisfied, whenever they're satisfied. Help me out.
I thought she was gonna start.
I did. I expected like many people in the audience to sing.
It's one of those musicals that you just start like singing lines of because it's just so good. It's just so good. If you guys haven't seen it, I think they shot a version. They shot the original cast on PBS, so I think you can find it. But
yes,
yeah, it's so great. Satisfied. Not gonna. Shot. I don't know. There's so many. The first one, the opening number. I mean, it's like every number. It's like every number. It's a great like workout thing. I mean, you just feel good about yourself when you're listening to it.
It's a good one.
I'm sure everyone knows. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. Everyone knows Hamilton. It's so good.
All right, last two questions, guys.
Shoot.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Go ahead.
Just grab it.
Yeah, grab it. Yeah.
Go for it.
That's your mic.
All right. I was gonna ask some like great question about like how you guys are both like great female characters, but because my very unrealistic dream is to be on SNL, I want to ask you, Cobie, how you met Taryn.
I was 22 years old, and Taryn and I met at a birthday party, and we've been together ever since. I've been with him for a very long time. So yeah.
Did you know when you met him that was it?
I knew like I wanted to date him.
He was fine.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I'm like that kind of romantic. I just knew I was like, he's super cute.
It's great, yeah.
He's super funny.
The person whose birthday it was, they take all the credit now. How are they with it?
I mean, I'd like to think they feel pretty good about themselves.
Yeah, I would.
But
are they a godparent to any of your children?
No, I was just like I haven't talked to them in a super long time. But we met at a birthday party.
Thank God you went. Do you ever think, what if I didn't go?
Well, I met him actually before, but he doesn't remember me.
Shame. Shame.
Yeah. But we had our first like combo at that.
Right.
So,
Amazing. I love those stories.
Yeah. He's a good dude. Sweet.
Hello.
Hi, darling.
Great fans.
Just like this to your mom. My mom's gonna speak for you.
Right? Great fans think alike. Both of my questions have already been asked, so I'm scrambling here at the end. We're very much looking forward to our Tuesday nights coming back. Thank you
For me, so it's going to be Friday.
Oh.
Yeah, but you can watch TV on Tuesday too. We just won't be there.
We'll DVR. So you said season 4 was your favorite season. I'd have to agree. I think it was ours as well. Was there a particular scene that was really hard to get through, maybe because you were laughing so hard, or just goofiness on the...
There was an episode when I first went into the framework when I was really sick. And it worked well because I had been buried alive, and that's how I came into the framework. So my voice had completely gone. But I mean, I don't know what drugs they put me on, but it worked because my voice could kind of push through. And I was meant to look really ill, and I did in real life. So it was just one of those wonderful moments when you just feel terrible, but actually it's kind of perfect. And there's a scene between me and Clark in that episode where I'm kind of acting like a crazy lady and he's a teacher, and it was just a really fun scene to do. But I was sort of quarantined for the whole of that episode because nobody else wanted to get sick. So yeah, I think that kind of sticks out.
I did wonder how you did the voice, so you were actually sick.
Well, then you have to go and do ADR, which is where you dub your own lines. And at that point, I felt fantastic. So I was trying to like get to that voice, but anyway, yes, that wasn't much acting in that episode.
Great job.
Thank you. Unfortunately, that's all the time that we have. Do you want to try to go for this last question?
Yes,
Just come back.
Yes, come on.
Hi.
Hi.
So I'm a great big fan of your show, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So if you had to choose which superhero would be part of your cast in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., what would it be?
Red Widow. Black Widow.
Black Widow.
Red Widow. I was thinking of the book.
Hair.
I just read that book.
Oh, well,
Black Widow.
There you go. Black Widow.
Red Widow.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Thank you, ladies, so very
Thank you
much.
guys so much.
Make some noise. Make some noise. Aww. Adorbs. Adorable.
Have a good day, guys. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you. Thank you for waiting.